Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. The second chances of Hope and Liam. Hope thinks about her future while Liam undergoes brain surgery. Additionally, Carter meets Deacon in person. Hope and Liam are given another opportunity. As Hope considers her future, Liam has brain surgery. These are but a handful of Los Angeles' spectacular events. To find out for yourself, you must watch today's show. In Monday's episode, it was a life-or-death situation. When Liam, Scott Clifton, slipped and knocked on his head, things initially appeared dire. He had internal bleeding in the area of his skull and brain. Emergency surgery was performed by the doctors. Steffi provided moral support. Although the procedure proceeded smoothly, worries persisted. For this surgery to be successful, Liam must awaken, Dr. Grace Buckingham informed Steffi. Liam was urged to open his eyes by Steffi. Then a miracle occurred. Liam opened his eyes gradually. As he fought to regain his senses, he glanced at Steffi. What will Liam recall from his tumble? Will he continue to believe that Steffi is his wife? Fans of B&B were rewarded to a steam montage. What might this signify? Hope, meantime, received the assistance she required from her father. She hoped her mother could experience the same thing. Hope will have a new lease on life, Deacon promised. He is confident that she will have a successful future. Despite their tragic breakup, Hope acknowledged that she still loved Carter. Hope reflected on her intense times with Carter after their motivational chat. Does she feel bad about losing the love of her life? Daddy duty. Deacon hurried to Forrester Creations in the meantime. His responsibilities as a father had not yet been completed. Deacon needed to meet with someone significant. Warning Carter not to play around with his daughter, he stormed inside his office. Carter was simply reflecting on his life with Hope. Maybe he won't regret shattering her heart. Deacon will not allow him to forget. These two will engage in a long, epic battle that will be remembered for years to come. Steffi woke up to Liam. Liam changed his ways, yet he still has problems. Hope as Steffi stood by Liam's side while he battled for his life. Liam's brain started to enlarge, and his condition got worse every minute. Despite her best efforts, Dr. Buckingham was unable to manage his vitals. In order to relieve the pressure on his brain, she quickly swept him into the operating room. However, Liam was still unconscious at the end of the day, and Grace informed Steffi that Liam was still in danger. At least not yet. He had to open his eyes quickly, or else he might never be able to get better. Instead of calling for assistance or support, poor Steffi went to her ex-husband's side and pleaded with him to change his mind. She begged Liam to fight for his life while crying uncontrollably. Fortunately, she received her miracle quickly. Slowly but slowly, Liam started to change. He grunted here, squeaked there, tightened his grip on Steffi's hand, and opened his eyes. Steffi was so ecstatic that she almost lost it, which caused her to relive all of their favorite times together. Finn and Kelly, Sophia Parrs McKinley, were at home at the same time, discussing the father-daughter dance and strengthening their relationship through their unique affinity. Kelly tried to keep things light and put on a brave front, but the little girl became more and more anxious by the minute. Her parents were nowhere to be found. Finn called and texted, but the stillness was overwhelming. No hope. Ridge received a lot of criticism from Brooke and then from Carter at Forrester Creations. They were disappointed that Hope had been fired, particularly since the Forresters had assured Carter that she would be safe. I apologize to everyone, but Hope is not welcome at the office. Not under Ridge's supervision. Carter and Brooke were generously retained, but only because they realized the coup was wrong. However, Hope continues to believe that she was correct. As a result, she would never be permitted to return to the premises. Hope, on the other hand, was an Il Giardino complaining to her father. Deacon listened to her and gave her all of his love and support. Hope acknowledged that she still loves Carter when the conversation shifted to him. A great deal. But she was distraught when she saw him kiss Daphne Rose and then cast her under the bus with the Forresters. Deacon was upset by the numerous betrayals. Deacon concluded that a face-to-face conversation with the man who destroyed his daughter's life was long overdue. In order to corner Carter, he abruptly stormed into the design room at Forrester Creations. Carter and Hope were both thinking back on how their relationship had changed from one of love to hate at the same time. Carter bargains, Liam awakens, and the Deacon makes a commitment. Finally, here is the bold and the beautiful recap for Monday, April 7, 2025. Liam Spencer awakens in the hospital in today's episode. Carter Walton attempts to represent Hope Logan in negotiations with Ridge Forrester. Deacon Sharp also promises his daughter something. Flatlines for Liam Spencer. John Finnegan and Kelly Spencer are coloring at the Cliff home. They talk about Father's affection. The doctor texts Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, because they are curious as to why Liam hasn't arrived yet. Liam flatlines at the hospital in the meanwhile. Grace Buckingham acts without hesitation. According to Grace, they must halt Liam's brain bleeding. To relieve the pressure, it will be necessary to remove his cranium. Liam is sent to emergency surgery as soon as his pulse returns. According to Grace, Liam barely made it through the procedure. Although Liam is stabilizing, he is quite critical. Liam will be well, but he has to be properly watched. He may require more involved surgery if the bleeding doesn't stop. It will take time to determine whether Liam has brain damage. Steffi is credited by the doctor with saving Liam's life. If not for her, he would be dead now. Steffi reminds him of his kids and implores him to wake up. As she remembers their favorite times together, Steffi breaks down in tears. Steffi is holding Liam's hand as he begins to awaken. Carter Walton engages in bargaining. Ridge and Brooke Logan argue about Hope's exile at Forrester Creations. Hope should be given another chance, according to Brooke. Ridge says he doesn't want Hope there because of her betrayal, and Carter walks in. Concerning Hope's line, Brooke turns to Carter. Hope feels deceived, which the COO detests. Ridge finds it wonderful that Hope doesn't want to see Carter again. Ridge advises Brooke to stop defending her daughter. Deacon assures Hope at Il Giardino that he will defend her as well. Carter's treachery must have been extremely painful, but Deacon believes the Forresters let Hope down. Hope claims that even if he deceived her with Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, she still loves him. Deacon believes that Hope will eventually find a true spouse and that it's for the best. Hope has her daddy-o till then. Hope is reassured by Deacon that Carter and the Forresters will not get away with their actions. Hope reflects on how secure Carter makes her feel when Deacon departs. Deacon confronts Carter in an office at Forrester Creations in the meanwhile. Following Steffi Forrester's remembrance of certain romantic memories, Liam Spencer woke up from his operation, according to the bold and the beautiful recap for Monday, April 7th. This is how Monday's thrilling BNB episode unfolded. Steffi was still worried about Liam flatlining at the hospital, but Dr. Grace Buckingham was able to revive him and ensured that Liam was taken to the operating room almost once to treat his brain hemorrhage. Liam had recovered from emergency surgery. However, as Liam was still in critical condition and would need to be continuously watched, Dr. Buckingham was unable to make any clear predictions about what would happen next. The only thing left to do was wait to see if Liam will have any brain damage or require a more involved operation. Liam had a lower probability of making a full recovery the longer he remained unconscious. Since the CT scan showed several places of impact, Dr. Buckingham asked Steffi what had transpired. Since Steffi had just discovered Liam on the ground outside the Spencer estate, she had no idea what was going on. Following Dr. Buckingham's observation that Liam owed Steffi his life, Steffi spoke to Liam in tears about their memories and their unbreakable link with Kelly Spencer, Sophia Paris. Steffi forced Liam to wake up after experiencing some flashbacks of her romance with him, and she was relieved when he began to flutter his eyes. Steffi was thrilled to see Liam awake when he finally squeezed her hand and turned to face her. John Finnegan reassured Kelly at the Cliff home that Steffi and Liam's tardiness was not a cause for concern. Later, with a somewhat worried expression, Finn texted Steffi to ask how things were going. Brooke Logan attempted to persuade Ridge Forrester to restart her line at Forrester Creations, claiming that Hope Logan was being held to a different standard than Carter Walton. Carter acknowledged that he didn't want to cause any more commotion when Brooke encouraged him to support her. Carter did, however, note that he was assured that Hope's line would be maintained. Ridge maintained that, unlike Carter, Hope failed to recognize the wrongness of what she had done. That was the difference in Ridge's opinion, therefore he denied Brooke's request and stopped listening to her defend Hope. Hope said that she had caught Carter kissing Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, at Il Giardino, which further infuriated Deacon Sharp about Carter's behavior. Deacon had ample justification to confront Hope's ex, especially in light of Carter's treachery at Forrester Creations. Deacon said Carter had toyed with his daughter and cautioned that it was a poor idea as soon as he arrived in the design office. Stay in for updates on all the shocking news that lies ahead, as spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Carter and Deacon's confrontation is about to become wild. Make CDL your go-to site for BNB news, updates, and smoldering spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge reamed, Bill frantic, and Liam's brain broken. Addressing Carter and casting doubt on justice in the Forrester Creations scandal, Deacon's fury. After learning from Hope Logan that her mother and boyfriend had deceived her, a furious Deacon Sharp confronts Carter Walton. Additionally, it was she that was let go from Forrester Creations. However, the individual who completed the dubious paperwork and the one who assumed the CEO position both retained their own positions. That doesn't seem fair to Deacon. Additionally, he will have some remarks to make. Following Liam's injury, Steffi Forrester, played by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, is highly concerned about him. The scene from Friday, where he flatlines in the emergency room after Dr. Grace Buckingham informs Steffi about the cerebral bleed, will be picked up on Monday. Additionally, it sounds like this week he might require brain surgery. Because in order to relieve the pressure, doctors typically need to drill a hole in your skull or do that. They are capable of many things. Brooke Logan continues to negotiate with Ridge regarding their fate and gives in to the pressure to pick Taylor Hayes. Ridge, however, will not back down from that or from Hope's termination. April 7th to 18th Bold and the Beautiful 2-week spoilers, Ridge reamed, Bill frantic, and Liam's brain broken. Amnesia and relationship drama on Bold and the Beautiful, Liam's hospital awakening. When Liam awakens in the hospital on Tuesday, April 8th, he discovers that Steffi has been by his side the whole time. That is going to make Liam feel good, of course. However, I do wonder if Steffi's presence deceives him in some way or if, given Liam's damaged brain, we're going to witness some sort of forgetfulness. It is anticipated that the plot will be extensive and unheard of. When Bold and the Beautiful delivers a major spoiler like that, it usually doesn't turn out to be that amazing, so I take that with a grain of salt. I'm hoping it is. Kung Fu Fighting, Sheila's dangerous partnership with Luna on BNB and Deacon vs. Carter. On Tuesday, Deacon and Carter get into a physical altercation. Additionally, these hotties are engaged in kung fu combat. Carter argues that he believed Hope would comprehend why he had to return Forrester Creations to its legitimate owners, but Deacon doesn't buy it. Deacon is upset that Hope's heart was broken by Carter. Deacon will so strike Carter in the face. He will then immediately return the punch to Deacon. However, Daphne Rose will step in before things get out of hand. However, they will both take a few blows. Actors Sean Cannon and Lawrence St. Victor are both trained in martial arts. Sean Cannon is reprising his role from Karate Kid 3 in the Netflix series Cobra Kai, which is excellent if you haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure what season Cobra Kai was on, but it's hilarious. I don't watch it. However, my kid and husband do. My son commented, "Oh, that's Deacon from Bold," after spotting Sean Cannon. I replied, "Yeah, it is." Spoilers for Bold and Beautiful, Finn faces Bill. On Wednesday, April 9th, Finn confronts Bill Spencer about his role in releasing Luna Nozawa from prison. Just wondering whether Bill would confront Finn about leaving his kid behind and not seeing Luna due to Steffi's demand. He might be attempting to take Finn away and put him on a guilt trip. However, at this point, I don't believe Bill should be lecturing anyone about bad parenting. In the meantime, despite Deacon's reluctance, Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, enthusiastically embraces Luna as her granddaughter. She'll take any chance for Luna. Will they have to continue skulking around behind her husband's back, though? Spoilers about Liam Spencer, Bill Spencer, and Ridge Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful. Liam's bad situation, Finn's predicament and Daphne's hunt for Carter. We will see Grace and Finn discussing Liam's serious medical situation on Thursday, April 10th. Additionally, his brain state can be worsened by amnesia and recurrent problems from all of his injuries. If you're keeping track, he has suffered at least 5 traumatic brain injuries since 2010. And he might be in danger of dying. He might have some brain cells in danger. In the meantime, Daphne tries to get Carter to accept that his relationship with Hope Logan is over and will try to see if she can get him to move on with her. I wonder if Finn will find himself in a difficult situation where he knows something about Liam's health but has to keep it from Steffi because he can't just tell her unless Liam has signed a specific document that states, "Yeah, she's my medical proxy," or she's got authorization on the whole HIPAA thing. I believe she will be successful. Sheila's manipulation, Taylor's discovery, and Brooke's attempt at seduction. Taylor discovers Brooke planning to woo Ridge on Friday, April 11th. To be fair, they do have a bedroom line, but Brooke is showing off her body in lingerie at work. She's hoping Ridge would enter, but Taylor stops her in her tracks. Brooke will probably argue that this is about Ridge's bedroom design work, but Taylor is aware of her intentions. At work, Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, are making out and talking about their future plans. Sheila and Luna are conspiring against them in the meantime. Luna also deems Electra prickly and tells Sheila that she believes Will is wasting his time. To be honest, I didn't enjoy that Electra touched Luna, not because she is innocent and doesn't deserve whatever punishment she receives for being a double killer. However, it makes me think of Steffi's attack on Sheila. It's as if you can't claim to be afraid of someone and then go ahead and attack a murderer while attempting to say, "Oh, I'm so scared." The two things simply don't match together. That's simply a problem with the writing. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, Bill's regret, Hope's new focus, and Taylor's ultimatum. Okay, so the aftermath from Taylor discovering that Brooke intends to play very dirty to reroute her dusty fate occurred throughout the week of April 14th to 18th. Taylor might also be concerned about what would have happened if Ridge had entered the room while Brooke was wearing her purple underwear. And that's a legitimate worry. Ridge can receive an ultimatum from Taylor stating that she does not want him to design for Brooke's line. I mean, they said they would find another position for Zend Forrester Dominguez, Delon de Metz. Naturally, that is a little strange, but even though he is not related to Brooke, it is something strange. Given that her father, Deacon, had been abused and that Daphne had defended him, Carter might be prepared to move on from Hope Logan. Additionally, Hope doesn't appear to be changing her mind about ending their relationship. Before long, she will have something fresh to consider. Although Steffi will be there to help Liam through this medical crisis, I also anticipate that Hope will show up and that tensions between Liam's ex-wives will rise. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, does Bill feel responsibly? Naturally, Bill will be devastated to learn that Liam had a brain injury that could endanger his life and that he fainted following their disagreement. It is impossible for Deacon to persuade Sheila to abandon Luna. Will Sheila make a strong argument or will she continue to operate behind his back? If Bill tells Finn that he felt compelled to free Luna from prison because her life was in jeopardy, it might help him understand. Bill might then discuss with Finn how he's reconsidering everything after almost losing Liam. You can't predict when your child will be permanently gone. Electra and will encounter some obstacles. Additionally, Remy Price might soon return to the mix. Kelly's true paternity may be revealed by Liam's medical crisis. Is Bill her biological father? Medical testing may reveal a startling revelation regarding Kelly's paternity as Liam battles for his life in the hospital after collapsing. Is Kelly's biological father Bill Spencer? As this medical emergency develops, discover what might come to light. Liam's deathly medical emergency may discover the reality of Kelly's paternity. A bombshell paternity revelation could be on the horizon as Liam Spencer battles for his life. As Steffi Forrester tends to Liam Spencer, who is unconscious following a catastrophic cerebral hemorrhage, the hospital's hallways are tense. What started as a furious altercation with Bill Spencer has turned into a possibly fatal medical situation that might not only decide Liam's fate but also reveal a shocking fact that has been kept hidden for years. Doctors are working quickly to save Liam's life after he fainted after what reports said was a heated dispute with his father. Steffi may be utterly unprepared for another bombshell that could permanently upend her family's foundations while she stays by his bedside, fervently praying for his recovery. The medical eruption that has the possible to change everything. When Liam flatlined, the situation became severe, and physicians ordered emergency treatments and tests right away. Steffi's agonized screams reverberated through the hospital hallways as medical personnel raced to save his life. But may a medical condition that casts doubt on Kelly's paternity be found in the midst of the confusion surrounding blood testing and transfusions? Longtime admirers recall Steffi and Bill's complex past, which included a one-night stand that threatened to end several relationships. Even though Liam was identified as Kelly's father at the time by a paternity test, the dubious circumstances surrounding the test have sustained fan speculations for years. According to a source close to production, doctors may find discrepancies that don't align with Liam being Kelly's biological father given his need for emergency blood work and possibly transfusions. A long-buried secret finally comes to light because of the medical crisis. Eyebrows rise at Bill's suspicious behavior. Bill Spencer's response to Liam's illness has been very instructive. According to insiders, Bill seems unusually nervous about the intensive medical testing being done, despite his outward display of a worried father's care. Our insider adds, his eyes show more than just paternal concern. Bill has been circling the physicians, inquiring about the tests they are conducting. He seems almost scared of what they could discover. Rich Forrester, who has been at the hospital helping his daughter through this crisis, has taken notice of this conduct. Ridge is wondering why Bill seems so interested in the details of Liam's medical testing, and their tension has increased. When was the first paternity test changed? Kelly's paternity test has been the subject of years of conjecture, with many people thinking Bill may have had the resources and incentive to make sure the results indicated Liam was the father. Suspicions that were never entirely resolved were generated by Bill's closeness to the lab throughout the initial testing phase. In hindsight, Bill's motivation appears to be obvious if he did rig the findings. He was attempting to mend his relationship with Liam at the time, and any possibility of reconciliation would have been ruined had he revealed that he was Kelly's father. Bill might have also wanted to shield Steffi from more suffering and controversy. According to our insider, Bill has always had a special connection with Kelly that goes beyond just being her grandfather. His attachment to her has been abnormally intense at times, which makes far more sense if she is, in fact, his daughter. Ways to discover the truth. Blood type incompatibilities found during Liam's emergency care are the most likely reason for this bombshell to be revealed. His cerebral hemorrhage would necessitate significant blood work and possibly blood transfusions as part of medical treatments. Our medical expert says that questions will arise if doctors find Liam's blood type is incompatible with Kelly's. This type of medical emergency frequently results in shocking disclosures, particularly with regard to paternity, in the tradition of soap operas. Another scenario is that Bill might decide to confess because he fears medical tests would reveal the truth. Bill might decide it's time to finally come clean about what he did years ago, especially because Liam's life is on the line. An annoying fallout. If Bill turns out to be Kelly's biological father, the fallout would be severe and far-reaching for all parties. Steffi would have to face her previous transgressions and revisit old wounds as a result of this news. Through their daughter, her one night with Bill would have established a lasting bond between them rather than just being a horrible memory. It would be devastating for Liam to discover that the girl he has reared and loved is not biologically his, presuming he recovers. His relationship with Bill and Steffi would be drastically changed, possibly irreparably. Additionally, Bill would probably lose his son's trust forever if he had a daughter. Anyone, especially Liam, who has battled his father's moral compass for years, would find it hard to accept the willful dishonesty involved in manipulating a paternity test. Afterward, what happens? Just as Liam's destiny is at stake, so is the truth regarding Kelly's paternity. Will what has been kept hidden for years eventually come to light due to medical necessity? Will Bill tell the truth before the tests do? Or will this continue to be just another unfulfilled fan theory? There is little doubt that the coming days will be critical for Liam's survival as well as maybe for the discovery of Kelly Spencer's biological father. An even more startling revelation about the father and granddaughter could conclude the medical emergency that started with a fight between the father and son. This further bombshell could drive Steffi over the edge, as she is already in shock about Liam's medical issue. If Bill has been lying for years, would she still be able to forgive him? Additionally, what impact will this have on Kelly's relationship with the man she has always called her father?